World champion, Caroline Brown. Well, just 2 years ago, Leanne Furye picked up the Scottish Masters title here in Perth, and knows all about playing under the glare and lights of cameras. For more than a decade, she's represented Scotland around the world and is relishing the prospect of facing Caroline. Please give a very warm welcome to the former Scottish Masters champion, Leanne Furye. Well, David Corkhill is up in the commentary box for us, and he's joined by Anne Dunwoody.
Thank you, Dougie. Yet again, now Furye here for the third year running. So nothing new for her. She'll be well used to it, and she's up against Caroline Brown, a very experienced internationalist from Scotland. Should be a fascinating contest between the two players. With me is Anne Dunwoody, very experienced Scottish internationalist herself, and will know the two players, but in particular Caroline Brown. What do you think, Anne's going to be where the difference between these two players?
Well, they've both been at the top of their game for the last few years. I think maybe Caroline may have an added incentive because she's going to the Commonwealth Games. So I think she'll be out this will be a good practice run for her. Leanne won't, I don't think. Leanne's pretty hot as well.
Caroline, of course, will be delighted to get the nod for the Gold Coast. It's a trip that everybody wants to make. But of course, with these trips comes a certain amount of pressure, and you have to think about it, and in terms of bringing back medals, because that's what counts, and that's where funding is very heavily attached to.
And the pressure will be on for the women because they didn't win anything in Delhi and they didn't win anything in Glasgow. So they're putting the yards in to train for Broadbeach, so hopefully, fingers crossed this time. It will be interesting to see what the playing lineup is.
Yes, the combinations of disciplines.
Yes.
Good start. Having said that, it's very hard to go past one player in the women's for the singles berth. But it'll be an interesting selection.
It will be interesting.
It really
yes.
will be.
I think Leslie has a good shout.
Yes.
Caroline's also there.
Absolutely, so. Leslie Doug, who was the runner-up in the World Outdoor Singles in Christchurch last year. Watched that match. Played very well against Australia's Karen Murphy, who just got over the line.
She's a good competitor, Leslie. She's got quite a quiet way with her.
Yes, and that's good. She doesn't appear to get overexcited about things. And when you're in a team situation, that's very important. It's not just about a singles player. It's not just about playing in disciplines. It's about playing in the team. And very much about playing in a team from a Commonwealth Games perspective. It's a very good effort by Leanne. Just dropping through.
Caroline's very good too. She's a good temperament.
One green.
Well played for the double. Wasn't easy.
Two shots, Caroline Brown.
Yeah, Caroline just had a slight fear. It was only the two, but she checked it out with Dan McManus. Good start. Ladies, of course, would have had a chance to practice on the portable rink and pick their bowls as well, and what sort of bias, whether they want a strong bias or slightly weaker bias. Obviously, from Leanne's point of view, you know, it's we're going similar to previous years.
Yeah, these are Leanne's own bowls.
So, well, that's even better again, isn't it, really?
Yeah, she normally plays with the maroon ones. Caroline normally plays with blue with
28
white
and a half
speckles.
metres.
So I think she's had to change for this. But I don't think it really makes any difference. She's using the same model, so. And I'm sure she will have practiced with green ones.
Oh yes, no, I've seen her out practicing as well. But no, between matches, there's not that much time. You only really get a couple of ends, and things do change during the day with regards to the atmospheric conditions.
Mm-hmm. And it's a good bit warmer in here today.
Yes, it is warm. It's warm in the commentary box, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Leanne, a current international as well, and won a number of different titles over the years.
Yeah, she's been quite steady in the nationals for Arbroath with Caroline Ruxton. I think she's double pairs back to back, pairs, triples.
Oh, there's hosts of things in there.
She has sort of come to the fore in the last few years. Caroline's actually started in the juniors. I think it was about 2006, was it?
Well, Caroline gold in the fours and the World Outdoor Championships in
Yeah,
Adelaide.
that's
So
in Adelaide, yes.
lots of things in there as well, but we know she's more than capable, indoors and outdoors. Oh. Well, be a little bit unlucky dropping away.
It's close for shot.
Well, close for shot. That's on the green. The trouble with playing the backhand for the green ball is you get a little touch in the jack, and that's going to red. So, depending. She's had a good look at it. Depends if she favours if she's lying or not. And forehand shot would edge the red ball off, but she has to be careful not to put it onto the jack. It's a fantastic effort. Well, don't know, Anne. I think it's a gentle draw on the forehand.
Yes. Yep.
Interesting choice of shot. Doesn't want to touch the green one. It was a good effort. Get the impression she favours her own by playing the backhand.
measure for shot. One shot, Caroline Brown.
Well, as it turned out, it's one to Caroline Brown. Always going to be a close measure.
Caroline's mother with the blonde hair, her son Kieran in the middle, and her dad Jim.
Set score 0-3 after
They
2 ends.
support Caroline very well. Mum's been to Hong Kong with her. I've watched her son growing up. He's been to every
That length,
game with her, I
28
think,
metres.
and her dad's always there too. So she gets very, very good support from them.
Well, it's not unusual with the overcorrection, but at least better behind than in front.
Two red.
Leslie Doig has also won this title. She won it a few years ago as Leslie Gordon. Caroline and Leslie seem to follow in each other's footsteps for titles.
Probably why I didn't recognise the name. Not everyone takes a married name for their husband, of course, and
One red.
very confusing when they do sometimes. You're not quite sure who's who.
I'll keep you right.
Well, it's happened with others, with Natalie Melmore as well, who's married
Yes,
to Jamie
yes.
Chesney and others. So now it has to be just inside this. A tap on the green would be even better. Well played. Good ball.
Two red.
Makes the double. Caroline just using the mat, try and get an extra bit of bend in this backhand. Trying very hard with this one. Wants the bowl, not the hole. That's great. Well done. Super shot. Perfect draw.
One green.
That's something we've noticed down in this event really all week. Is that backhand just very slow to get back. You've been talking to the players, of course. You probably know that they've been saying that's what's happening. That's why they're going to strong bias all the time.
Yeah. It's quite interesting to see that they do use bowls with stronger biases than they do. The overseas players sometimes struggle with wider bias bowls when they come here. They're so used to narrow bias.
They are indeed. Was it going to turn?
Oh.
Just one more tap and it would have been enough. As it is, it's one green.
One shot, Caroline Brown.
Yes, quite often it's a case for the
Set
players
score 0-4 after 3 ends.
in the Southern Hemisphere, particularly in Australia, where they play, even on the indoor, they play very narrow bias bowls. Outdoor it's more understandable. They're extremely fast greens, but I never like to see bowls going down with 3 feet of width before the bias takes effect.
It's a boring game, isn't it? When you
Well, it's
That
not
length 28.5 metres.
anyone's fault, in particular with the manufacturers, because they're satisfying a need and a legal requirement as well, and the demand is there for them. But it's all really down to the master bowl. But there are some conditions, especially in New Zealand and parts of Australia, where greens are so quick that you do need a narrow bias bowl.
It's a leveler. There's not as much skill with the narrow bias. There's more skill with the wide drawing bowl, I feel anyway. More margin for error too.
Well, yes, more margin for error. That's correct. Now, will this bowl just hold up? It's starting to dive across a little bit. Two great bowls by Caroline. She's off and running in this match. Good starter bowls, getting out one of the first two, if not both, in. And it's putting Leanne under some pressure. Just wraps that wee cloth around her hand. Well, overcorrection, so easy to do. And this could be very costly.
3 green.
Well, it's looking good to me. Not sure, but I think it's good. Yep, it looks like it's stopped and in for the 4.
4 green.
And Furye lost out to Julie Forrest last year. 8-3, 10-2. Didn't really play her best bowls in that particular final. However, the marker was Dan McManus and the umpire was Dan Blewett. And we've got the double Dan tag team again today. This has to be better. Must save. Certainly a lot closer. Can she get past? Oh, wow. Well, the edge.
One shot, Leanne Furye.
Gains the one shot and probably an inch away from losing 3 or 4 shots there. So that'll be registered as a fortuitous result, I think, Anne.
Yes, but I think that may settle Leanne. She looks a wee bit tentative when she's putting some of her balls away.
Yes, just a little bit nervous, isn't she?
Yeah, she looks, doesn't she?
Yeah,
she
hasn't settled into the
yeah.
game yet, and of course, doesn't matter how you get the shot, you get it on the card.
They all count.
And they all count,
27 metres.
and that gets it going, doesn't it?
Yes.
women's game in Scotland. As you say, I'm really, from a high level, high performance point of view, struggled in the last 2 Commonwealth Games, but Leanne, Glasgow. But there seems to be like a new group of players coming through, and maybe they're being given a chance as well. It'll be very interesting to see how they go when they go down to Australia. But the international team is still full of talent.
Oh, yes. It seems to be a sport now where the younger people are considered. Don't think so much it depends what you've done. I think they're trying to build a team for the future.
Yes.
Bringing the young ones in.
More of a rebuilding process.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I think a lot of teams need to go through that.
They need experience, and we don't have in our women's game. We don't have the competitions to give you that strong experience.
Well, you're not the only one in that case, and a lot suffer for that, mainly due to the fact a lot of bowls are still played midweek. As we see Leanne just trying to push the green ball out and got it.
1 red.
I've been at Broadbeach for the last 2 years, during the 4 Nations and the 8 Nations earlier this year. And the greens weren't super fast as I would expect in Australia, but then that was in May, so it
Yes.
should be faster in April for the Commonwealth Games.
Is that,
1 red.
just that little bit later makes a big difference down
Yes.
there, and I would suggest that if Australia, for success purposes, need them to be a bit quicker.
Oh, I think they will make them quicker, the same as they did in Adelaide for
Yes.
the World Championships.
Exactly. They'll be rolled within an inch of their life.
Yeah, and you're on the coast, so you'll get the wind. I think 2 of the greens, I think, at Broadbeach are going to be lifted and relayed prior to the games.
Now, Caroline, can you just turn that jack round the corner? Leanne, line 1, but a little tickle on the jack would make a 3. Just as they're going to get back in time, not quite, just holds off for that extra bit of weight. In many ways, the weight was perfect for the trail shot.
1 shot. Leanne Furye.
Leanne follows up from the last end. Now got 2 singles on the card.
Set score 2-4 after 5 ends. Jack length 27 metres.
Well, 27 metres. Jack nearly lost.
I think Australia will name their team shortly, because I think they said they would name it after the Trans-Tasman, and I think that's being played now, so it should be interesting.
Oh yes, it certainly will be.
Talent in depth there.
Well, it's just sneaked in. The advantage of an event like this, of course, is that it brings people to the fore, lets the selectors see them operate under pressure. Single rink, television, etc., all comes into play.
Yeah, Scottish Indoor Bowling Association changed the format of this and opened it up to everyone. So I think we had 5 venues and everyone could put their name in. You pays your money, you take your chance.
No argument about the winner then, they've qualified.
1 green.
Yep,
And I like that.
yep. It doesn't matter if your face fits, you've done it yourself.
Yep. No reliance upon the subjectiveness of selection.
Mm-hmm. And as I said earlier, these two girls have been top of their game in the last couple of years. Caroline was named Player of the Year indoors this year. Leanne was Player of the Year last year. And the year before that was Leslie Doig again, so it's a small group.
And quite a young group as well.
Yes.
Now, Caroline, can you make this on the forehand? Just need to run a little bit. It's going to stop fairly quickly. Don't think that was meant to be back there, but it's going to be hard to play anything other than a draw. Caroline Brown. Works in the National Health Service, a clinical care manager. Caroline. Started bowling when she was very young. Age 9. Oh, this looks quick. Yep, just over the weight, and once again, it's all down to making over the corrections. That's all. You just push through it.
Set score 3-4 after 6 ends.
The singles are arriving. Very happy with another 3 of those.
Jack length 27.5 meters.
Didn't push through it. She knew that out of the hand. You could see disappointment with her body language. Was saying that's not reaching. Women's internationals, of course, will be in Scotland in March.
Yes, at Paisley.
There's another jamboree of bowls. You would know I was in the Scouts, wouldn't you?
Have you been selected?
We won't be picking our team for a while. I'm not saying a word. The selectors might be listening.
They've done quite well in the last...
Yeah, I've been hanging in.
Yes.
One green.
Playing with my young skip, Gary Kelly, who's always enthusiastic. Keeps me young enough to play in the team.
He won his first British title here, didn't he? He won the junior singles.
Yes.
Against Wayne Hogg, wasn't it? He'd never been out of Ireland before.
Yep.
He's certainly come a long way since then.
He has indeed. Travels all over the world.
Very confident now compared to the shy young boy that he was when...
Oh, Caroline. You're lining the shot. The last thing you want to be doing is pushing it through with the third bowl. Just thinking to herself, I need another bowl in, and she just pushed into the jack. Wee bit unlucky. She could have crunched the jack against her own ball and be lying 2 very safe shots. As it is, she's a shot against and 3 back bowls against as well. So, have to think about it. Always keen on to get another bowl in, but
Just overplayed that.
you know, either side of the jack was good. Difficult forehand shots on, played with weight. The danger is going the wrong side with 4 against you back there. But if she goes in tight, she might get the plant, and that will take the other bowl out. If it goes in narrow, it's certainly worth giving it a chance. Outside the line. That was costly at this stage in the end, though, to give the shot away. And
1 shot, Leanne Furye.
after 3 ends of losing the shot, it's very unlucky when you do that,
Set
though.
score
She was
4-4
very
after
close to
7.
making the double.
Jack length 27 metres.
Well, Caroline will be very keen to recover from the last end. Try and get something back before going into the last. It's been a run of 4 singles. That's a very good starter. It's building up nicely.
2.
Now Furye's in a bit of trouble here. She really needs a good, close second shot. Drifted away. Not seeing very many attacking balls, Anne.
You know, I was just thinking that women play an entirely different game from men. They don't. They try to outdraw rather than.
It's almost a defensive sort of game in terms of that, but there's heads that really do scream to be hit, and that's a single ball target, though. That's not easy, and if she misses it, well, chances are she'll lose a 3. A good draw shot, even third shot that's close within a foot. I'll put her 2 down into the last end, and that's doable in terms of getting something out of it.
Jack's kind of locked in now, isn't it?
It is. It's locked in between the 2 green balls, but she's going for the runner. That's a hard shot. You know, she hasn't played it. I understand why she's playing it. On the respot, she was getting a single, but by missing it, it's giving Caroline the opportunity to get a third. I promise she couldn't hear us.
Pressure off Caroline a bit now.
It's a big ball, this one. No, going into the last end, 3 up. Just needs to stop. Oh, she's made it. That's 3 excellent bowls, and best end for Caroline Brown. Takes the benefit of it
3
with a triple.
shots, Caroline Brown.
Coach Gourley will probably be watching.
Not much expression from, it's
No, she's
chanty enough when you speak to her, but on the green, very much in the
focused. She's very focused, isn't she?
concentration is absolute and total.
She does dig deep a lot. When if things are not going her way, she can usually dig herself out of
Jack
it.
length 28.5 metres.
She's very good to play with too.
Yes.
She's not a demanding player. You know yourself if no one tries to throw a bad ball. So she's a very good skip.
Yeah, she's a good team player when it comes to that. And mentally very strong, and I think that's a lot to do with people's confidence as well. If they're a top class player and the others maybe are 1 or 2 people on the rink are just not playing that well, they can bring them on into a good game, and it's how you manage the player. Some people like the arm around the shoulder, others prefer just a wee bit of a more stern chat. That's all.
Caroline's had a good teacher. She's from the Blantyre Club, and she's plays a lot with Margaret Latham.
I was just going to say, was it Margaret Latham?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you're not going to get anybody much better.
No.
I'm a great fan of Margaret Latham. I think she's
She's top player. She gives 100% all the time with every bowl.
top class skip.
Doesn't accept fouls or any other way.
That's a fair comment.
I'm sure she would agree.
Oh, I've known Margaret for a long time, but she's a class act. Now, Leanne, you're going to have to get in close with these next 3, otherwise it's going to be very difficult to get anything out of this set. Short ball was the killer every time.
No, it's 3 inches short of Jack Han.
If I was Caroline, I wouldn't worry too much. Just draw away. If anything, actually, the other side would have been good. Just don't want to hit the red one in, but she's confident enough. Just needs to reach on this line. Yep, just getting back to centre rink. Little extra push. Oh, good effort. But still 2 balls in the head. Still a chance. Slightly short red ball, Anne, is that's Caroline's danger there. There's a shot in the forehand to get to the back red one. That would more or less cancel everything. She prefers the backhand because she has got good balls in there. Just has to be a little bit careful.
She needs another one in there because these 2, should Leanne choose to go for it, you can just pop out. This looks good.
Yep, that's good. Splitting the reds on that side. That's the sort of shot I was thinking about, only on the forehand. But excellent ball. Going to be really hard for Leanne to do anything with this. Well, nothing really, and I can see to get a 3 out of this, it's got to be very, very fortunate. Maybe she sees something that I don't, but running ball into the 2 greens and hope to come off at an angle, maybe. Oh dear! Well, it was a shot to nothing.
First set, Caroline Brown.
Well, Caroline Brown survives after losing in the middle of the set, 4 singles, but picks up a 3 and a double in the last 2 ends and wins the first set 9 shots to 4 and will be absolutely delighted.
She still just looks a little bit nervous. She's standing back.
Leanne, yes, she does.
Arms folded very defensively.
Yes, the body language isn't
No.
quite sort of 100%.
28.5 metres.
But I'm comfortable out here, you know, it's a little smile, but it's almost like a sort of nervous one. Just hasn't had the same feeling about it. Caroline getting on with the game. A lot of people leaving just in between the sets and probably will come back for the next one. But doesn't disturb her. She just gets on with it.
Used to happen at Preston, do you remember?
Oh yes.
Certain time.
Oh, Preston, yes. Yes, UK singles and the Worlds at the Guildhall.
Good venue.
Always happened about 5 o'clock tea time.
Bus pass time.
Bus past time, yes. And then last bus, 10:30
Yes.
on the late matches. Everything was deserted and you had your 2 men, the dog, and one of them was the umpire.
We played music
We
during
did.
one of the games. Was it Steve Glasson and Mervyn?
Yeah, they played music at one stage. So keep people awake maybe, but it was very, very late at night.
That's what they do at Broadbeach, where the Commonwealth Games will be. They have music playing all day
All day. Yeah.
outside.
A lot to be said for it.
It's not blaring, but it's
One red.
takes the starkness away.
Just needs to get over the seam of the carpet, and it's very close. It just dropped away, 1 red, I think.
It's close, but I favour it's one red.
Are you sure? Dan is sure. He looked up to me. Signalled is definitely 1 to red. He knows. Gentle, gentle on the way round. Well, yeah, even a small nudge like that can make a difference. Well, it depends how brave Leanne's feeling here, because any movement on the jack is worth 3 or 4. She didn't come up and have a look, and there's no shot clock, so they've got plenty of time. It's another good effort. Oh yes, now that stays up. That looks the number 1 to me. That's a super ball. I think 1 has actually been taken out by Caroline. She's going to have a look at the second.
2 shots. Leanne Furye.
Well, that's more like it from Leanne. Her first double of the match. That's a sort of end that gives you a bit of confidence, because she only had about 3 or 4 inches to draw a second there.
Yes, but that's what she's needing. She is. She hasn't won all these titles because she's a bad bowler, David. You know, she does. She has that capability. She's just back from a couple of weeks ago from York with the 5 other Scottish ladies against England in the Test series. They play 2 triples, 3 pairs, and everyone has a singles game. So She's got lots of experience there. There's only 3 days difference between the age difference between these girls. Were you going to say?
I was just looking at it and thinking to myself, I knew they were similar. I didn't think they were that
I
similar.
think it's only 3 days.
3 days between them.
That would be some party if they held it together. Carnage.
It would be. I wouldn't want to be there. I really wouldn't. But having said that, it also means that their journey through the bowls world has been very, very similar
In
terms
tandem,
of
yes, they've been in tandem.
under 18s, under 25s into the senior team, and
3.5 inches.
I think Caroline made the senior team at quite an early age.
yep, she did.
Leanne only played once, I think, in the juniors and moved up to the seniors.
2.5 feet.
A rare foray onto the forehand for Caroline. She hasn't played this hand very often. Good effort.
1 red.
Foot or so, that's all. Just trying to put that a little bit on, just overplayed it, and this is a good chance now for Leanne. You play this in the backhand, just let it come in behind the front bowls, hide it away. Have to be wide though. Nope, she might get her own bowl here. Not quite. Or will Claire play this weight shot? And there is a weight shot available to her, you know, and she is a very good player in terms of playing the weight shots. But do you think she'll play the runner?
She's more than capable of it, and
You know, get into the side of the bowl, and then just as it
she
hits
has
there,
got the
she
back
wings
one now
away.
too. Yep,
If the jack moves, well,
it's a wider target. She can use the front red to come in off.
there's only one danger: red ball onto green. She loses 3, and if she plays a runner, she's going to be very accurate. Well, she's playing a controlled weight.
Mid-weight.
Yeah, controlled weight. Dangerous the way that hand plays because it wings away very quick. There it goes. It just dives away.
1 shot. Leanne Furye.
It's like a submarine under attack whenever that hand dives away. There's just no return for it.
Set score 3-0.
We have the
2
advantage though of knowing the rink. These girls have not had the experience on it.
Yes, you need to spend many, many hours either on it or watching it.
Yes, it has its own little traits.
Jack leg, 28 metres.
She's dicing with death with that jack.
Well, she needs to get through to the long jack length, that's it. But 3 meters after the tee, so plenty of space for the margin of error. Good starter.
Do you have anything like this in Ireland for women?
Not in terms of the single rink. No, no. It's in itself is a problem that we did have the WIBC Championships televised for a number of years at my own club, Belfast, as you know, and it was a super event. And we had
Belfast Stadium is just ideal for that, isn't it?
Well,
good viewing galleries,
exactly. It's
2 greens,
a big
1
club.
elevated. Yeah.
I've been a member there for over 40 years.
1 green.
But of course, we had the women's and WIBC, the men's and the mixed in that, so it was very, very good. Unfortunately, it's not there anymore. Chance, big chance with this. Nice clear road. Yes, well played. This is good stuff from both players. Tough audience out there. Someone were clapping, but someone, oh, we expect this.
They've been tough all week.
Yes, I thought that on occasions.
They must have an exceptionally high standard themselves.
Yep. Oh, well played again. Now gentle on the jack. Well done, Caroline. Oh, sorry, well done, Leanne. It's very, very good ball after that sort of pressure of the blue ball, green ball coming in. It's almost like she's lifted her game in the second set. She looks, you know, a lot more confident.
Drawing better as well.
Yes. I think that 2 on the first end made a big difference. Oh, it's a really good effort as well.
It's the blade.
Just coming over in the high side. Yep. Well, there's nothing on here for her, but just trying to arrive at this with drawing weight. Green ball onto the jack, she would lose 3. So has to be a little bit careful. But again, you know, Leanne set up a very good close ball, and she's certainly looking more like the player we know she is. Just a matter of getting down off that line with the extra weight, and it always holds off. Good effort, difficult shot.
1 shot, Leanne Furye.
There's never been any women who've won
Set
through
score 4-0 after
to
3 ends.
the International Open here. Occasionally you get women at the World Championships down at Potters, but I don't think there's been any women.
Not for the International Open, I can't remember.
No.
We certainly have seen them at other events, including here, and as you say, down at the Worlds, but
Jack length 28 metres.
I think the thing is the qualifications are hard, there's no doubt about that, but it's a sport where men and women can compete literally on a level playing field, and there's no reason why they shouldn't be qualifying.
On paper it looks easy. Should be an equal par, but it doesn't always appear to be that. I think you need to play against men to lift your game too. I think they play a more attacking game, so you have got to be versatile and play the same game back.
Oh, that's great stuff. That really is top-class bowling in anybody's language.
1 green.
Alison Marion, of course, from Guernsey, qualified for this event, was knocked out by
Oh yes, so
Nick
she
Brett.
did.
First set didn't go too well at 11-0, but she fought back in the second, lost 8-4. And Alison would be one of the recognised best players in the world.
Yeah, she's a strong competitor. She can compete with men. Of course, coming from Guernsey, you just play with who you can over, and there's a lot of good men in Guernsey.
Yep, indoor and outdoor.
Yes.
Very competitive.
So she will have honed her trade against men. She's had an elbow injury recently, didn't she?
Yeah, she had some
Yes.
problems, but obviously back again. Gentle, gentle.
One green.
One green. Just that touch sometimes is enough. The problem for Caroline is she can't do an awful lot about this. She's just looking across at the monitor, which shows the overhead shot of the head of bowls, so they know exactly what is going on. Well, can't blame her, stay away from it, but that's a brilliant set of bowls. Well, if she gets this absolutely right, she could have a tremendous result. Oh, unlucky. Oh, that is so unlucky for that jack to bounce out into the open. If that had held in to the back red one, she was looking at 3 shots, and it's 1 to green. And I think Caroline might be well advised not to bother with this one. I think the idea is run away.
Yes.
One shot. Caroline Brown.
Yeah, she's opted.
Good decision. I would suggest that's the best way to go.
A bird in the hand.
Absolutely.
4-1 after 4 ends.
But it really is. Leanne has really moved up more than 1 or 2 gears in this match.
But it gives Caroline the jack, control of the jack now. She has her length.
Well, the mat's back, but she's going long.
Jack length 29 metres.
Good start.
We'll have some very, very good bowling, as you would expect from players of this calibre.
Yeah, it was just a little bit slow to come to the boil.
I think it was, and to be honest with you, but you know, we're really seeing what they're capable of in the second set, and it's been very, very good stuff.
Well, there was some big names in at the start of this event. Cut down to I think 16, and then they had to come back during the men's national singles play down, and the last 2 standing.
Yes, absolutely. And they didn't just play a couple of matches to get here. I think that's the key to it.
Yes.
And you know, they've had a journey to make it to this stage, and well worthwhile, of course. There we go, another good ball.
1 red.
That's 4 very good bowls. They're making sure they're arriving at the head, giving themselves a chance. Caroline just wants to draw the bowl off. And he's very close to it.
Away.
Oh, it's going to drop back.
1 red.
The men's Masters was excellent too.
Yes,
Outstanding.
absolutely. It's a brilliant game.
Darren's only 18, so he's got a big future in this game. He played in the Commonwealth Games, I think the Junior Commonwealth Games in Samoa a good few years ago.
Once again, another good effort. Yes, that's just a reference to Darren Weir, who played against Graham Donaldson, an excellent game. Men's final, lost out 2-0 on a tiebreak after 2 tied sets, 7-all, 6-all. Very rare, but an indication of how close the game was.
He's from Paul Foster's club, Prestwick, and in the under-18s tomorrow we have a young girl. She's just went through to that final, Rebecca Houston. She'll be a good name to watch for the future.
We look forward to that. Just missed the inside running ball, looking really to try and get the green ball onto the red, hold it in for a double. This is not easy. It's has to be a little bit careful here. Don't want to fall back on the jack. There's confidence about drawing another shot on, but there, you know, it won't take much to give this away. I think she was playing it safe on the wide side.
1 to Leanne. 1 shot, Leanne Furye.
Set score 5-1 after 5 ends.
Dad Jim looks as though he's biting his fingernails up there.
It's always a problem, isn't it, really, with parents, you know, it's...
I think they've come through so much with her, you know, they're always there.
They're usually more
Jack
nervous than the
28 and a
player
half
is.
meters.
But it's been excellent stuff, this final. It's been high quality. That's a rare loose ball in this set. Correction made, but just sliding under. Just needed a little bit more on the width and on that backhand. Does bend back.
Two green.
Oh, that's under. Missed the line. That's
Turned her
bye-bye.
back in that quickly, didn't she?
Yeah, she knew, and that's a good sign in many ways, Anne, isn't it? Because if a player plays a poor ball, you don't want to see them following it up. Really, you know, it's important that they recognise it early, then dismiss it, forget about it, move on. Caroline probably try and get another one in here. Not worried about cover at the moment. Big ball, this one. Just needs to stop in time. Oh, it's trucking through. Hasn't saved anything.
3-3.
Well, the scoreline in this set is going to change quite dramatically after this end. Hasn't played a loose end in the set so far, Leanne Furye. But this one's going to hurt.
Kind of all over the shop this time.
Yeah. Perfect line. Good weight again. That's in. It's a good four. Well, if your opponent has an end,
Caroline Brown.
you have to capitalise, and all of a sudden
Set score 5-5 after
it's
6
all
ends.
level after 6 ends, and well, Leanne just needs to steady herself.
Jack length 27.5 metres.
Will the women's team for the home internationals be announced fairly soon in Scotland? or-
They have their trials. I think the trials are next weekend.
Are they really? Right. I know the men's trials are in January for us.
No, I think I don't even think the trial lineup has been announced yet. I saw it in the diary, so wait for that information to filter through.
Starting to go a bit walkabout here. Leanne, steady yourself. You've been playing really well in the second set. In the meantime, no mercy from Caroline Brown. She'll keep popping them in.
I think the Indoor Association have changed the dates of their finals
Right.
to accommodate the girls and the boys who will be going to the Commonwealth, which is pretty decent. It lets them play in it, it gives them more competition time.
Absolutely, and it's good to see that cooperation, because
Yep.
it's not always that way, and good to see associations looking at each other and thinking, right, what can we do to help out?
I think they felt if some people played and won through and then they couldn't play in the finals, it was unfair to the teams that they had beaten. So
Absolutely.
that information filtered through to all the clubs, I think, earlier this week.
Well, good stuff. Glad to hear
Yes.
that. Now, yeah, this one looks better. She's made the correction. Now, can't she filter between the two balls? Oh, so close. Really good weight to make that gap. So, 2 to green, and Another careful draw. There's a red ball out on the forehand, which probably doesn't look too nice, but there's a wide arc on that backhand. Can use the mat and come in from a high line. That's exactly what she's doing. Yep. Used the mat very well there. She was right on the outside edge to try and bring that back. Now, she's been hoping that that ball would have dropped, because that would have guaranteed the third. As it is, it's very close enough. I played it on the wide high line, let the balls drift back.
Our indoor in Scotland are very progressive. They've just named Alex Marshall as their team manager for the internationals, indoor internationals, and Paul Foster takes over the under-25
I was going
team.
to say the under-25s, yeah.
Good, two good guys
Yeah.
to mentor them.
Just needs to bend with this one. Got a chance. Oh, again, that ball stopped her from getting close. Two really good balls from Leanne and got nothing for it.
2 shots. Caroline Brown.
Set score 5-7 after 7 ends.
It's been a bit of a run here for Caroline. Won 3 of the last 4 ends.
Jack length 27.5 metres.
More like what we expect. Signs of it in the last 2 balls of the previous end, and that Leanne was starting to get back into things.
Yes, and she obviously needs to count something here.
Well, definite 1 gives her a chance. She has to score, or she's going to be in a heap of trouble. Caroline will be thinking, if I can get 2 shots, then they'll be shaking hands. A good start by Leanne. Let's see if she can follow it up with a second. Very close. Oh yes.
2 days.
Well done. That's in.
She got to get the speed.
Oh, played it well. Oh, wonderful shot.
1 green.
It's so hard to play that shot, isn't it? I think that Leanne's only had 1 poor end in this set, but because it was a 4 shots, she's actually won more ends than Caroline, but finds herself 2 behind with 2 ends to go. You just really cannot afford to switch off, even for 1 end.
particularly in those sets.
Yes, they
The
do hurt.
format. Yep.
Now Caroline looking to add another ball in here, get another shot. Anything onto the red ball at the side is good. Got a chance, not the gap though. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh, ho, ho, ho. It's a good ball there, don't get me wrong, Anne, because it's very handy, but very unlucky not to get the red for 2.
It reduces the options for Leanne, though, doesn't it?
Well, Leanne's got 2 seconds. Front ball on the green ball's good. Jack in the ditch is good. She'll probably pick out the green ball on the way through at that angle, because if she hits the jack absolutely clean, it will deviate slightly on its trajectory and probably pull that one out. So she might score 2 shots. Either way, I think it's a forehand runner.
It's that in between shot again.
Oh, that's hard to get back on the high line. Yeah, I can understand her playing it because of the previous
One
ball,
shot,
but
Caroline Brown.
that was hard. That was a difficult shot to play.
It's really a draw or a drive
Set score
on that
5-8
side,
after 8 ends.
isn't it?
Well, you know, I think those shots are available to you, but you really need to know the rink. And,
Yes.
that's where the hard bit is. Caroline Brown, 3 up, last end, on the wrong side of a 5-1 score line 3 ends ago. So scored 7 shots. Leanne Furye
27.5
needs to score a full house of 4 to push this through to a tie break.
Good start.
Nice start. Defending 4.
Yep, that's what you want.
Well, that's okay from Leanne. That's where she needs to be, behind the jack. This will be a mix and match now for Caroline. Don't let anything build up. Yeah, that's good as well, and the crowd know that. Anything behind the jack was useful. Well, again, that's coming to a good home. She wants to group her balls,
2 green.
give her a chance to pull the jack back with her last delivery. Caroline, that's holding up a little bit. I thought it might have come back a bit more than that.
Trying to cover them.
Better if she stops on her own ball, Anne, isn't it?
Need to catch something.
Well, it's still doable. Caroline's going to have to go deep now. Get into cover position. There's 2 balls waiting for it, but there's another red one, which is close to the ditch. Just out of picture at the moment. So that's what Caroline will be aiming for.
Just needs to break up these three. If Leanne goes for it.
This is good. Played it well. As soon as she stopped short of the red ball, that was enough, and I don't think Leanne can do anything about this. I really don't. It's a bit like the last end of the first set. There was just nothing to play with her last ball. She's done the same again. Needing 4 shots. Close to the jack. Oh dear. Well, that's interesting. Actually, if that jack had gone into the ditch, she would have been laying 4 shots.
In the match, Caroline Brown.
It's a good
Well, 9-4 for the first set and 9-5 for the second set. 2-0 to Caroline Brown, and she's the champion, the SIBA Ladies Scottish Masters 2017 final. Well, both very experienced players, and we expected a very tight game. The first set was very much in favour of Caroline Brown, as Leanne Furye scored a lot of singles, 4 in the trot, with a little edge there. That was her first shot to get on the card on the 4th end, but Caroline Brown was playing so well. She was doing a lot of damage and picked up a 3 on the 8th end and left Leanne with absolutely nothing to play. And that was the last end of the first set. Caroline picked up a 2. 9-4, probably a fair reflection, but the next set we saw Leanne Furye playing the way we know she can. Started to play some great stuff, but unfortunately for her, one poor end, lost to 4, and that was enough to bring Caroline Brown right back into the set. She just couldn't do anything about it. In the end, it's Caroline Brown, the Ladies Scottish Masters champion for 2017. Ends 1, just slight in favour, 10-8, but that's really due to the big counts that Caroline Brown was picking up, the 3s and the 4s. Total shots scored, but that's reflective in the set scores, and touchers very little in it. Both ladies put up a good fight, but Caroline Brown, she succeeds.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a fantastic final. Before we get the competitors out onto the rink here, another round of applause for a great final. And please also give a very warm welcome to the presentation party from the Scottish Indoor Bowling Association, Lady President Elizabeth Brown, and Director of Director of Jack High, I beg your pardon, Fred Winter. And the runner-up 2017, Leanne Furye. And the Scottish Indoor Bowling Association Scottish Masters Champion 2017, Caroline Brown. Huge congratulations to Caroline Brown, your champion 2017. Well, what a fantastic win for Caroline Brown there. A really fine final. But earlier this morning, there was the Scottish Masters Championship.